Mastering life and business with your winning path. Come with us to master a path of success that will revolutionize your life and business journey. We provide strategies that transform dreams into reality, steering you towards victory. Immerse yourself in a reservoir of knowledge, unlocking potential and boosting confidence. By joining us, you will witness your capabilities unfold in ways you never imagined. Discover tools to conquer challenging terrains, staying resilient amidst hurdles. Embrace innovation, elevate performance, and watch your vision come alive. Together, we can conquer peaks and create a future beyond ordinary. So, start your journey with Innovate to Elevate today.
Good morning, Houston.
Houston, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, we are. We're already an hour late.
We are an hour late, but that's all right because we're here and we're doing it.
We're here. So, what are we talking about?
One of the things that we've been running into a little bit as we come to the end of the year, and I think that a lot of people run into it as they finish the end of a year, whether it's a fiscal year or a calendar year or however that looks for you. Like we get in these like fixed mindsets, kind of the if it isn't broke, don't fix it sort of mentality. Part of continuing to learn and continuing to grow is you can't get stuck there. And I think that some people get in a feedback loop of just like, well, I mean, it worked last time, or, well, it's still mostly working. So, like, why should we change this? Why should we, what should we do with it? Instead of like, okay, well, yes, this might be working, but what can we learn from what's working? Where can we take it from there? Are there growth opportunities? Are there not? And I think that little change in wording, it's not just a change in a couple words. Like we're talking about a complete mind shift, really.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more with that. And the hard part is when someone gets into that fixed mindset, what they don't understand is the world is constantly evolving around them. And if they can't meet that evolution of the world around them, they're going to end up failing, whether it's in business or in general life, because you're repeating the same day after day after day, but you're doing it in the same way.
Right.
You
It's
can't
the
do that.
Groundhog's Day effect, right? We're just going to keep
Exactly.
repeating that day over and over and over.
Exactly. So, I mean, how would someone identify that they have a fixed mindset or someone else has a fixed mindset? If we're talking about innovation, we're talking about elevating, let's say a company. I know we have a book coming out talking about mindsets and failures of yourself and or failures of a company.
Mm-hmm.
How would someone identify themselves and or someone else in the company as a failure? Or I guess in this case, having a fixed mindset.
I think that what's interesting is finding those places where you feel like it's becoming stagnant. People just are sitting in their comfort zones. They're not really sure what's coming next. Or, a lot of people don't even know that they're in a fixed one. And a lot of times you can see it by they kind of hit these plateaus. They don't really grow anymore. They kind of lose the inertia of where they're headed and what their company looks like, and they're not staying up on like what are the new and upcoming trends, and do I need to be adapting? Like, is technology changing? Is my entire industry changing? In some places it's like the industry might be shifting to a whole different way that it's doing business. An industry could shut down or like take a huge pause button. Like, what would happen to your business if it did that?
Yeah, for sure. So having a fixed mindset has consequences, and some of those consequences can be as major as losing a larger client that you might have in your business. For example, let's say you're a wood shop somewhere and a lot of your business is done by hand by carpenters, but you can do that same process on a CNC machine, which saves time, energy, money. At that point, you're talking about paying an operator to do something, the bit, the energy or electricity to run the machine. You can quite literally cut down some of those times by a couple days just by having a CNC machine do it. So when you start looking at consequences of a fixed mindset of a company who refuses to go to, let's say, machinery and cut out a carpenter job for the skilled part of what you're doing, and then you have another company who's willing to embrace the CNC machines, you can quite literally have a client go over to that company that's willing to use those machines because they're going to save tens of thousands of dollars depending on the project.
Right. And it's thinking through those moments, and you really are going to hit kind of some turning points or some kind of little milestones of your growth. And it gives you an opportunity to push through those, make some decisions like, do I want to grow and do I want to go down this path, or do I want to stay fixed? Do I want to stay in that old way? And in some cases, for some companies, that might be okay. They're like, you know what? This is what I love. There's a reason I like a person doing this job rather than a CNC machine doing a job specifically. But what we're talking about here is ways to innovate and elevate your business and what you have going on. So for this kind of example that we're talking about, Aaron, I would say that going with that new way and finding other ways to enhance and grow and create more opportunities for your business, I think is essential. And not only essential, but like embracing that growth, embracing those learning opportunities, giving yourself as a leadership team or an executive level team to really show that growth minded people are the people that you're looking for inside of your organization. Because yes, it has to start at the top, but it also needs to have that trickle down effect, making sure that the rest of your staff is embracing that growth. Maybe you have people out there that are looking and aware, and maybe you have some people inside your organization, like maybe they're research and trend type people, like they just want to go find those no cool things to bring ideas to you. You need to be open to those ideas and having those discussions. What a great opportunity to use somebody that's already inside your company to help you really grow and push yourself forward.
Definitely. And when you talk about various verticals of companies and maybe not being able to do a shift, when you were just kind of touching on that, one industry kind of came to my mind in the aspect of not being able to employ machinery, and that would be car sales,
Mm-hmm.
of all things. And this is where I think mindset has a lot to do in business. And when you talk about bringing in a consultant to consult with you on your company, that consultant normally has experience among various verticals.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I would say something like, okay, yes, we can't bring in machinery or automation, whatever, to do the car sale,
Right.
but how can we innovate to basically elevate that car salesman? How can we get that person to get more cars out of the door for less time and effort and make them more money while making the company more money?
Right.
And there's many ways to do that, some of which are, cool. Let's post them online like every car dealership does. But, all the way down to having it is fucking cold as shit out here. I just want you to know that. That's what's in my mind right now. Is how cold it is.
Well, let's do it. We're going to do it live right here, Aaron. What can you do different? Quit having a fixed mindset about being cold. How are you going to grow through it?
I'm already doing it by sitting in the cold.
There you go. We're sitting in it today. Aaron is actually in the cold. It is also cold here. I had to shovel snow this morning. That's why we're starting a little bit late. But I'm at least in the warmth of my studio. Aaron is not, and so here we are growing. Doesn't matter if it's cold. We got to deal with the snow. We got to deal with the things. To go back to your car sales idea, I think the innovative ways of being able to communicate with current, past, and potentially new clients in that car sales industry is huge. I actually just had a really good positive experience with a car sales person. My son bought a brand new vehicle. He just turned 18 and he bought his own vehicle, which is amazing, but just had a really great experience. And I think one thing that I really saw inside of that is there was no judgment based on the fact that my son was 18 and he was a kid, if you want to call him that. There was none of that. Like, he was treated with respect. There was never like the salesman looking at mom and dad to like, hey, is this a real thing? Like, there was never that. And the fact that there was like one-on-one personal engagement really showed me something. And honestly, it's like, okay, well, next time I'm going to buy a vehicle, I'm just going back to that guy,
Mhm.
even if he can just help me find the vehicle I want, because of how he treated us as a system, as a family. I was like, that said more to me. So thinking about like, how can you approach people differently? Maybe that's the growth opportunity. That's the way of getting more sales, because in the car industry, it's all about referrals and it's all about the network that you've created and built.
100% correct. And so you have that ability to have the human element, as you were saying. How else could we grow that car salesman and or car dealership? One thing that kind of comes to my mind right now is obviously being able to do a lot of the paperwork online. Car dealerships are already doing that, but how would I go about in a car dealership making sure that I can get loans for someone? I'd go find a loan guy that could write a loan for quite literally anybody. And that way, it's, hey, fill out this application online. We'll get you approved for something. And once you're approved, then we will show you cars.
Right.
Because now you already have the approval. They're not wasting their time trying to get a car that they can't afford.
Yep.
And no one's wasting their time at that point.
I think that's an interesting point. And in the real estate industry, that's what we talk about all the time. Like, you got to know, like, what process or what order should you do things in. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like so many people go shopping for a vehicle and try to get approved for that vehicle. We don't do that with homes. We go to a mortgage or a loan officer and say, hey, what can I get approved for? Then we go start looking, because then we know, like, I don't need to look at a $750,000 house if I can only get pre-approved for $600,000, because you're wasting time. So like in the car sales idea, like, what if people were able to do like a pre-approval kind of thing? And I get it, it's a little bit more challenging with cars because you're dealing with other variables and factors that you don't deal with in the real estate market, because that's a fixed asset. However, I think that you can find some potential places and or grow an area or grow a niche that loans are able to be done or pre-approved on, at least based on some basic information, and then you close the deal after the fact.
100%. And so I did a little bit of real estate, and one thing that I used to love to do is I would normally show a house that was outside of their budget. Using your numbers, let's say they had a $600,000 budget and there was a house that I knew my client would like that was $750 to $850. I'd take them to that house and I'd tell them going into it, look, you can't afford this house. I'm telling you that, but this house has a lot of cool features and I want to go walk this house with you to figure out what you truly like in those features so that I can spend my time finding a house that matches those features within your budget.
Right.
And again, when you talk about the fixed mindset, I know a lot of real estate agents that they just want to sell a home.
Right.
Whatever they can sell the quickest is what they can sell the quickest, and that's what they do.
Right.
Versus let's expand on that and become a leader in real estate.
Yeah.
And
exactly
I'll tell
right.
you, the guy that I used to sell with, he goes back and forth between number 1 and number 3, somewhere between 1 and 3 in the state at this point for his agency.
Right.
And it's because of that mindset. He does not live in a fixed mindset.
Right. And you got to keep growing. And an industry like real estate is, though you're always helping to buy and sell homes, it's evolving. The process evolves, how you have to get there evolves. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like you said, you're trying to find the best solution all the time. And I like that idea of kind of like, let's push you out of your comfort zone a little bit so we can really make sure we know where that is at.
100%. So cool. Well, I think there was a lot of good information in here for our listeners and for everyone listening. If there's something that you're unclear on, if there's something we didn't touch on, if there's something you want to know more about, let us know. Comment, like this video, subscribe. If you want to reach out to us, reach out, send us an email. I know you just got the website live for Hustle to Elevate.
Yep.
We got some cool merch on there that's already starting to fly off the shelf. So, get some of that gear.
Get out there and do it. And if you want to find out where to send Aaron a coat, send us a message. We'll help you out. Thank you. And keep continuing to innovate to elevate.
Mastering life and business with your winning path. Come with us to master a path of success that will revolutionize your life and business journey. We provide strategies that transform dreams into reality, steering you towards victory. Immerse yourself in a reservoir of knowledge, unlocking potential and boosting confidence. By joining us, you will witness your capabilities unfold in ways you never imagined. Discover tools to conquer challenging terrains, staying resilient amidst hurdles. Embrace innovation, elevate performance, and watch your vision come alive. Together, we can conquer peaks and create a future beyond ordinary. So, start your journey with Innovate to Elevate today.